Hey, hey, Chucky here again with my happy veteran Patton. And today, this ride that I just completed through my neighborhood completes 1 week that I've been riding EUC, learning for the first time on the Patton. And I'm going to kind of break down what I did and what each day was like for me. So, day one, unboxing. I unboxed it. I found out the batteries were in it for me wheels, so I didn't have to install the batteries. What wasn't in it was the power pads. Those came in a FedEx pad the next day. So I rode it without pads the first day. And basically, it didn't really matter that much. I was just on the fence the first day. I wish I would have figured out how to do this where I have the pads on my shin where it made contact, the extra piece of foam that I stuff in my knee pads to do that on day one, because yeah, I did bruise up my shins pretty bad trying to grip the Patton. But yeah, I was mainly on the fence, practicing standing up, practicing the memory muscle for, putting my foot on the plates. I was easy to turn around and go the opposite direction off the fence pretty easy, like, back up and pivot to turn and keep going, which was interesting. I think, yeah, those are skills I don't have balancing in free space yet I still have them very good on the fence, making me think that I will be able to do that in free space in the future. But anyway, so that was day one. Day two was more of a rough day. Day two, I really tried to break away from the fence and venture out into the yard. My parents have a pretty good sized backyard, and the fence, was a good starting point. And but I knew that I had to break away from it. So time after time, I ventured out into the yard on day two and wiped out. Most of the time, my butt didn't hit the ground. Most of the time, it was just the wheel hitting the ground. But some of the time, it was my butt hitting the ground. I did not know the secret of continuous light hip snaps. That's what you need to control one of these. And it's it is something your body kind of has to learn. But so day two was trying to learn that. Day three was more trying to learn that. Venturing out from the fence into the yard. Each time, maybe getting a little further. My first attempts, I was maybe making it, 60, 100 feet. On day three, by the end of day three, I was getting, up to like maybe 300-400 feet before I'd have to jump off the unicycle. So, I definitely progressed. At the end of day three, I ran over a hole that has I don't know, some kind of cap for a valve down below. And it was a pretty good bump, but I drove over it just fine with the Patton, but I didn't have my legs set just right for it. And I definitely pulled a muscle in my right calf. Right calf. So anyway, so day four, I wound up not riding because that muscle was sore and I knew it needed to recover. So day five, I started in the yard and advanced to going like all the way around the house, and advanced it to making a lap or two around the house in the grass, and got way better grass and got way better getting up and going in free space too. That was another thing that I practice a lot on day five, just getting up and going. And yeah, I was making trips all the way around the house, eventually being brave enough to venture onto the concrete, And then it wasn't too long after that, I think it was the night of day 5, that I did my first trip around the block. Not very far, just, yeah, probably, half a mile, third of a mile, something like that trip. But yeah, I still felt, yeah, it was cool that I got out on the concrete. It was late at night, I didn't see any cars, so it was a good time to get out there and practice with no cars, no pedestrians. And day 6, that would have been yesterday. Yesterday I did more riding in the street, more trips through the neighborhood, more mileage. Got my mileage up over 20 miles total on the wheel yesterday. And I started carving, but yesterday I was still having a lot of problems with foot fatigue. And today I kind of came up with what I was doing carving. I was doing hip snaps when I first got up on the wheel and controlling it at slow speeds. But once I got going out on the road, I was trying to drive the unicycle more like it was a pair of skis. I was pressing down with one toe and pulling up with the other to try to do carves and turns. And that was giving me a lot of foot fatigue. Whereas today, I realized that I can still carve without using my toes at all, just leaving my feet relaxed and just totally using my hips to carve. And that made it a lot more comfortable, a lot more fun, and I felt like I had better control over the unicycle today, carving that way too. So anyway, that is my first week's progression on the EUC. I've had a good time using it, and I look forward to seeing where I'll be next week. Have a good one. Chuggy out.